Hi everyone, I'm here because I wanted to give a quick tutorial on how to install the light and ceiling fan dimmer switch from Treatlife. And the reason why I wanted to install this is because right now we have a ceiling fan, which is up there, and the only way to turn on the fan is by pulling a cord, a fish line cord from the ceiling, which looks absolutely ridiculous. You can see it here. So it's nearly invisible to the camera, but it's annoying and a nuisance for us. So I'm going to be replacing my one light switch that controls both the light and the fan on the wall with this device. And this is also Wi-Fi enabled, so we don't have to worry about controlling it from a remote. So it's a great replacement if you want to try and use a remote solution. This is even better. Never have to lose the remote to take care of dimming the lights or the switch, or excuse me, the fan. Anyway, I hope this helps. Thanks. So I'm down here in my basement. I apologize for all the noise, but I want to turn off the general lighting in my house. So here it's pretty nice and conveniently labeled. So I'm just gonna switch 12 off so that I can turn off the power upstairs. And you'll notice that the fan will also be powered off. So you want it on before you turn it off, and yeah. So I also want to make sure that I mentioned that we should label all the wires. The Treatlife comes with a pretty cool set of wire labels for this purpose, so definitely give us a chance. Okay, so you'll notice I have 6 wires here. I have the ground, the switch for the light, the switch for the fan, the load wire, and then 2 neutral wires. Now the way this was hooked up, the 2 neutral wires were independent, so they were already tied off. And then I had the load wire. Let's see, this is the fan load. This is the line wire. And what happened was I had this one attached internally up here, and I had the 2 switches for the fan and the light attached to the bottom. And so to detach this, you just take a Phillips screwdriver and you undo that right here. In this case, there was a wire that was stuck in here. I tried removing it. Typically, you can use a screwdriver to just push in here and pull at the same time, but for whatever reason this one was pretty jammed up, and so I had to cut the cord. Great, now we can do a little setup for the system. So you'll see that there's 4 wires on the back of the Treatlife dimmer. There's a neutral, a line, a lighting load, and a fan load, and I imagine that these are probably backwards in the camera right now, but yeah, it's the best way to do this little demo. But we also have a ground wire as well. So we're gonna hook up the ground to the ground. This copper wire is your ground wire. Some houses will have it be green. And then the neutral wire is also these 2 neutral wires. So this will have to be mounted to the other 2 wires. So these should be clipped together. Then we'll do the line to the power. So this is the line to the power, and we'll also connect the light switch, which is red, and the other fan load, which is the yellow, to the black. So just make sure that you don't, if you have the same coloring as I do, with the 2 blacks, the red and the white, then make sure that you do not switch the black cables. So I figured I'd just do one quick demo of one of the wires. So I'm going to take the 2 neutral wires and mount them pretty close to the tips at the end there. Take the 3rd white wire, and then take this cap and screw it on. And so you notice that I can still turn it, and eventually it will get tight. It's kind of magical. But yeah, so now I can try and pull out each of these wires independently, and you'll notice that none of them are wiggling free. So this is how I know that the cap is screwed on tightly. Now just continue doing this for the other 5 wires. Now that these are all tight and secured, we can push them back into the hole gently so that none of the wires disconnect. This is a pretty tight squeeze with the added wires and this large block fitting into the casing. So take your time with this. Next, you'll want to insert the screws into these sockets here. Luckily, I have the Phillips screwdriver handy, so I can just start fastening this in. Lastly, you'll want to put this on, and so if you look closely, it does say up right here. I'm not sure if that's going to be clear, but yeah, so if you want this pointing up, we're going to put it like this. And it should just snap it in place, and voila, there you have it. Okay, so I just put the power back on, so everything should be okay. I'm going to push the light switch on. You'll see that the lights start coming on. Get it in a little bit closer so we can see what's going on here. You might notice there's a hissing sound coming from the lights. That's because they're not dimmable, but I can increase their power so I can make them operate as they should at full power, and you can see the light switch coming on all the way up at the top. So now they're at full brightness and operating as they should, so the hissing has stopped. I can also turn on the fan. You'll see the light comes on, the dimming is switched on, and so now it's at its lowest speed. We can increase this to its full speed. We can take a quick peek, and the fan is operating as it should. Now, in order to get this so that you can have it on the Wi-Fi network, you're going to want to download the app and install it, and once it's installed, you can hold down the light switch button. You'll see that it starts blinking a different color. Hopefully that's bright enough that you can see it. And that just means that it's pairing to the network, the Wi-Fi network. So again, as you'll notice in the instructions, that you cannot use a 5 gigahertz network with this device. It needs to be on 2.4 gigahertz or some other frequency. So just keep that in mind as well. Now you can see the blinking a little bit better. So you want to search for the Treatlife app. Just right here. I already have it installed, so you can just click open. And we can do add device. Notice that it says that 2.4 gigahertz is good, 5 gigahertz is bad, so then we'll click next.